Here for Whisky Whistle, just behind the camera first. Hope you enjoy that. Anyway, I'm going to be opening up this guy right here, the Talisker Wilder Seas cooperation with Parlay, and well, I'll be using my hands a lot for this one. Sorry about that. Hopefully the sound is good. Please let me know about that. I'll have to check that myself. Yeah, it sounds good, except for the weird ad. All right, anyway, so Talisker Parlay, this guy right here, we're going to crack that open. And we'll check that out together. I've got a nice story about that. Stories about me. I got to catch you up on this guy that's behind the counter here. So give me a thumbs up if you're watching. I see we've got a few people that have joined in. Let's see those thumbs up. That'd be great. Anyway, so then in part 2, we'll be tasting it together. All right, so part 1, we'll be pouring it into my professional blenders tasters glasses. And then part 2, tasting it and comparing it with the OG high proof Talisker 57 North. And I'm still just recovering from some laryngitis, so not so fun, but that's just the way things go. Hey, some hearts, that's awesome. Anyway, so beautiful stuff. We're going to get underway right away here. I've got a couple of things that maybe you can see that are right on the table, purposefully laid, like the receipt. Now, sorry about bumping the camera. We're here in South Korea. And again, lots of bumping. Sorry about that. So here's the number you're looking for. So Talisker Wilder Sea. They don't use plural so much in Korean. Anyway, so you can see the original price, 130,000 right there. 130,800 won, which is about $130 Canadian per. I bought 2 bottles. And then look at this. It doesn't actually list the discount, but essentially, yeah, that's a 50% discount there, which you can see right here. Okay, so 2 bottles came in at 100. Oh, I guess it was more than half off. Oh no, I guess with the tax. Okay, so half off. I paid $131 Canadian for 2 bottles. Let me just pull this bottle up here one more time. Okay, so what have we got here? This collab between Talisker and Parlay, or Parley, however you say that. Wilder Seas, the name of the bottle. And I'll just get in nice and close as I can here. And let's have a look at the strength, 48.6% ABV. So a step up from Talisker's usual 45 point, what is it normally? 45.7, I think. All right, so thumbs up. Let's get a thumbs up here. All right, so let's get that cracked. And let me just show you these glasses up close, by the way, from the Wonders of Whiskey Professional Blenders glass. I've used that on the channel before. Nice looking glasses, obviously not as sturdy as your Glencairn. A little bit of extra bling, and they are very nice for nosing. Okay, so let's see if I can do this without bumping the camera too much. Okay, so the Wilder Seas. By the way, I think I didn't mention the story with this whiskey. So it is, I'll just pull that out right here. Here we go. Talisker Wilder Seas is our first ever single malt whiskey, finished, says so right there, finished in French oak XO cognac casks. It's also the first to be bottled in 100% recycled glass. So that's progressively forward thinking. It's lush and complex, blah, blah, blah. We don't want to read that. I don't want to set myself up for disappointment or for suggestivity. And again, I've got a few people watching along, so please thumbs up. And I know it's a little bit weird with the first what can I say, first person view of this, but this is what I want to do. I want to just have a bit of fun with the bottle, show off the bottle, and then we will get into a first sip in part 2, which will be coming up roughly 10 minutes after I'm done this one. Okay, so I'll put the link for that in the chat right now, and I'm following along with myself right here. Okay, so let's get into part 2. Can I copy that? Maybe I can't copy it. Okay, this is what I'll do. Part 2, part 1. That's the part 2, I think. Yeah. Share, copy. Okay, and you can see my funky lights. Let's get back into this event. Skip that. Okay, so jump into part 2 for the capitals. Capitals, need those capitals. Live, not liver, live. First sip. Here. Paste. There. There we go. Okay, so you got that link there. Follow along, and please thumbs up, leave a comment. Have you tried the Wilder Seas yet? Anyway, I want to get this cracked, and we're going to get rid of the silly little dog tags. I mean, like, I think that these things, obviously it's less packaging than having a box. So that's good. Talisker, thank you very much. That's really good. But, you know, they could go away with that altogether, just get rid of those things altogether. And instead of having the 360-degree etching, you know, just put the information right on the bottle. That would probably be the most environmentally conscious if you're trying to, you know, promote that, which they are obviously. And this is in support of wild sea forests. So that's kind of neat. You can see that right there. Okay. All right. 4 people watching along. Thumbs up if you've joined in. Let me know who we've got here. I'd love to say hello to you. Okay, so we're going to get rid of this. And I will carefully get this opened. These are always tricky. You got to use your pinky. Sometimes I can never get them, just like now. I just don't have the pointy nails. I don't got the pointy pinky nail that some people have for certain reasons or another. Okay, got it. Let's go. LF go. Okay, there we go. Off she goes. That's the Isle of Skye. Talisker, of course, I mean, obviously you know, but maybe you don't know, it's a single malt Scotch whiskey from the Isle of Skye. It is robustly peated. That's, I guess, the best way I'll put it. It's not the most heaviest peated. However, it would be classified as a heavily peated whiskey normally. They do have lesser peat editions and higher peat editions. I think they're somewhere around, I don't know, 30 or 35 ppm. And what I'm doing, I'm just smoothing down that that metal foil so that it doesn't cut me, which actually has happened before. And if you've just joined in, what I did say was I bought 2 of these bottles for a grand total of $130 Canadian, which is less than the first bottle of Talisker 10-year-old that I bought myself for the first time, going back how many years? 12, 14 years. Okay, here comes the pop. Anything? I should probably flip it once just to make sure we don't crack that. Oh yeah, that was a lackluster pop, but a pop nonetheless. And it's got the Talisker nose, and it's got a lot of oak. So these are cognac casks, which, pardon me, which means that it's French oak. In fact, it must be. This is the thing about cognac. If you want to call it cognac, it must be aged. It must be aged in French oak casks, specifically Limousin casks, and I forget the other one. It's eluding me. Okay, so let's get that poured. Very awkwardly, I'm actually sticking my arms through my round light, which you can see in the reflection. Okay, so let's get it poured. I'm not doing this justice at all. Get that out of the way. Sorry, Talisker 57 North. Okay, here we go. Get it in camera. Oh, that's a nice pour. Okay, beautiful. All right, so we've got it poured. And you can probably imagine what's coming up in the next, the second part, part 2. 1 thumbs up, that's great. Let's go. Let's see some more thumbs up. That would be fantastic. All right, so you can probably, what was I saying? You can imagine what's coming in part 2. We're going to be smelling and tasting this. I'll just give it a quick whiff right now. And yeah, it's really got a lot of nice oak. And so when you're thinking cognac casks, you might be thinking of the cognac effect, cognac finishing. But for me, what I'm thinking less about the cognac finish. And I'm thinking more about the fact that it's finished in the French Limousin oak casks. Okay, so thumbs up. We've got the Talisker Parlay open for the first time in my professional blender's glass. And now I should probably switch the order of these because I want them in the right order. Okay, so that one, the darker of the two, I think, that's the Parlay. And then now for 57 North, which I'll be comparing with. Obviously, that's an older bottle, probably around 2010, 2015. That's the cork sound we love. Yes. Oh, that was feisty. Okay, so let's pour, whoops, that was another camera bump. Sorry about that. Let's pour the 57 North into my other professional blender's glass. There we go. Just a little bit of that one. I don't want too much because it's really hard to get. Okay. Put the cork back on. There we go. So there's the setup. Okay, so we're at about 2:15. Thanks so much for joining. I'm going to be getting right started into the live tasting with you, the live first sip. And what I wanted to do here was just get it set up and also just try this vertical live, hence the name. Okay, so I guess I'm going to be doing these double lives whenever I get a new bottle and I have the time to actually do this. I don't have a watch on, but time is always of the essence, isn't it? Anyway, so that's the deal. I'm gonna come right back in here. Is there anything else that I want to mention? I mentioned the great price, $130 Canadian for 2 bottles. 2 bottles, two bottles of the Talisker Parlay. What an amazing deal, right? Let's see a comment. Let me know what you're thinking. What do you think this is going to be like? Oh, and there's a bit of a gaffe. You got to see this. So Korean laws, they got to put information on the back in Korean. And I'll just help you with this because obviously you can't read all of that unless you might be like me, which you could be. But okay, so here we have the name 제품명 Talisker Wilder C. Wilder C. Here it says C. At the front, it's different, but that's okay. Okay, so Wilder C. 700 milliliters. What is the item? It's whiskey. What's the ethanol strength? 48.6. And how should you store it? Okay. And it says, what does it say here? Avoid sunlight and at room temperature. And then we have the ingredients. This is what I love about Korean laws. Okay. So we've got the ingredients here, which you don't find on Canadian bottles. I don't think you find it on many bottles around the world at all. In fact, I think due to lobbying from the big whiskey and liquor giants. Okay, so the first thing that comes up is 정제수, which is water. Okay, and then the next thing we see here is whiskey 원액, pure whiskey. But they make a mistake and they put 48.6 here, which seems to suggest that it's only 48% whiskey and the other 51.4% is water. So that's a big mistake that they made here for the Korean. And then just in case you're wondering here, it says caramel 색소 1. Caramel 색소 1. Caramel color number 1, which would be the E150A. Okay, so it's nice that we see that. And we've got the RFID, which they use in Korea to prevent counterfeit and so on and prove that you've paid your taxes and all of that. Okay, and I think I can tuck the second bottle away for now. I'll put that there. We've got the Talisker and the 57 North, which we'll be looking at very shortly. Thank you so much for joining. I'm Mark. You're watching Whisky Whistle. And come and join me. I'm going to be sitting right over there. I'll be sitting there sipping these two. The one in front, the Talisker Wilder Seas, and the one in back, Talisker 57 North, which I actually got at auction, surprisingly. All right, so stay tuned for part 2. I'd love to see some more thumbs up for this video. And give me a bit of time to get set up, but I should be back on roughly about 10 minutes after I wrap up this live stream. Sorry for the delay in content, but moving back to Korea, where I am right now. This is Korea. I moved back here, I guess, a year and a half ago. And my family joined me about 9 months ago. So it's been, of course, it's been lots of ups and lots of downs in terms of time and preparations and then just having this actual quiet time in the house to do this. And another thumbs up. Thank you so much for that. I really appreciate it. Gratuitous comment here from myself to myself. What would I like to comment? Let's see. Well, I'll get into the fun comments in the next video. Stay tuned for part 2. I'll be joining you shortly. I'll wrap this up in about 10 seconds. Make sure you subscribe to Whisky Whistle. Leave a comment if you've tried the Talisker Wilder Seas, which I've just poured, this guy right here. And what do you think about the direction of Talisker, the direction of whiskey in general? We'll get into that in a few minutes. Stay tuned. I'll be right back. Take care. And thumbs up, everyone. Thanks very much. We'll see you very soon. Bye-bye now.